I don't know, but this one might get me in just a little bit of trouble. Over here at the Regal today, don't have to deliver till tomorrow. Looks like the Walmart 200 is happening right now. So we're just chilling out today. And I got to thinking about something me and a buddy of mine talked about. So what do men talk about when women aren't around? Oh, a lot of times it's women. But a lot of times it's the kids, decisions people make, and the dumb things we did when we were younger. And watching our children do the same dumb things that we did when we were younger. Thankfully, I don't have children. But my friends do. And, well, we all do dumb stuff. So as you can imagine, in the last, 25 years, I've had a few relationships. My friends have had a few relationships. I've seen a lot of stupidity happen. And truck driving has been hard on a lot of it. So, here's a few stories about that. Here's a few hints and tricks. And look, guys, this is just a fun video. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, but I will give you the benefit of my failure. So hopefully, you can see the trouble coming a long ways down the road. Back in 2001 and 2002, I was engaged to a fine gal. We're still friends. And we were going to get married and all that. And her mother was all for it. Right up to the moment that she found out I was a truck driver. Little backstory. Her mother had been married to a truck driver. And he, checking my locks, he ran off with a lady of the night. And divorced her. They got divorced. It all ended up bad. And from that point on, she hated everything involving truck drivers. Truthfully, I just think she hated men. But I'll save that reserve or that judgment for later. So she did everything she could to basically sabotage us. And she worked. And truthfully, as I got to know the woman later on in life, if I'd been her ex-husband, I would have run off with a hooker too. What I'm trying to say is that the guy got the better of the two. Anyhow, I've seen a lot of stupid things like that. I've had women that refused to date me because I was a truck driver. So, this job is going to interfere in that. But one of the places where guys get in a lot of trouble is with girlfriends. Now, mind you, these gals know what you do when you meet them. And it's never a problem right up to the moment it is. This is where this decision's going to get a little flaky. If she knows what you're doing when you meet her, it should be no surprise that this is the way it's going to be. Don't promise a girl you meet that you're looking to get off the road or this or that or the other thing. You should, if you're not serious about her or you're not sure yet, you don't promise these people nothing. Let it play out. Y'all will be a lot happier in the long run. And truthfully, it helps if somebody in her family was a truck driver like her dad. Of course, if her dad was like my ex's father, that can also be a hindrance. So you got to play this pretty close to the vest. So, when it comes to decision making, too many of you guys are allowing your decisions to be influenced by someone you've been dating for 3 weeks. Had a guy trained at my last job get his head all turned up inside out about a woman stole a semi-truck and made it halfway across the country before they got him arrested. Girl turned his head inside out. I don't know what the problem was, but you can't let that kind of thing happen. But when you're sitting here doing your decision making, the worst thing you can do is let someone unaccountable, aka a girlfriend, make decisions for your future. It sounds like I'm being hard on the gal. I'm really not. I'm saving you guys a lot of pain, and I'm saving the truck driver a lot of pain. This kind of thing is why I tell guys, you don't live with them till you get married. You don't. It's not a religious thing or anything like that. It's all about avoiding pain. What brought this decision or this conversation on was the other day was a buddy of mine and I were talking. Well, his kid was supposed to be coming out. He was going to move back home, help out with the family farm, and eventually take it over. And suddenly he decides, no, me and my girlfriend were talking, and we both decided that, maybe it's best if I just stay here for a little while longer and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him and I said, dude, why are you making marriage decisions with a girlfriend? She doesn't have your best interest in mind. She's just looking out for herself. There's no commitment here. And when you start putting an objective spin on your dating, you're going to weed a lot of things out. Now, trust me, you might be a little lonelier than you want to be. And this is where the other girl comes in. And I don't recommend this at all. Full disclosure, ladies of the night are not even a real thing anymore out here. I haven't seen a truck stop prostitute wandering around in several years. And I've spent a lot of time in Gary, Indiana. And when you're not seeing them in Gary, Indiana, they're just not there. Everything's online now. Thankfully, I don't get bothered anymore with these idiot women beating on my door at 1, 1:35, 2, 2:12, 2:35, 3 o'clock, etc. all night. I almost, the last time that happened was at the old Pilot in Kansas City, Kansas, and the only reason I was there was because AWG wouldn't let us in the gate. So I had to go over to the Pilot and park and wait for AWG to open so they'd let us in. The minute they opened, man, I scooted over there. Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that at all. And searching out that kind of companionship, there's really no upside. I remember being in Dallas one time and remember watching a hooker rob a guy. I was all set to help the guy find her because she stole his wallet and basically robbed him. And I remember I was going to help him find her, and then I saw a wedding ring on his hand, and then I said, F you, dude, you're on your own. I'm not, you get what you deserve. I shouldn't be out doing that. You got a wife at home, and you're out here with whores. Ain't nobody got time for that. It's on you, dude. And I left it at that, and I walked away. That was in Dallas. That was probably 2005, I think, when that happened. But you just got to stay away from that. And usually, I'll tell you this, ladies, take it easy. There's not this out here. If the guy's going to search it out, he's going to search it out. But these women aren't walking around like they used to. This all the stuff you saw on TVs and movies from the 70s, that's not real. They're not out here like that. And men, I'll tell you this, a woman's intuition is a powerful thing. I've never not known one woman who didn't know her man was cheating. They just know. I don't know how they know. They just know. And when they know, they may not say anything, they may not, but they may talk themselves out of it. They not want to believe it. But usually, when it comes to women and their intuition, their first instinct is usually correct. So that's just something to dwell on. I know a lot of women worry about female truck drivers, and there's no reason to. Most of them are married, and the ones that aren't typically look like swamp creatures, honestly. There's a lot of that going on. But when you're in an industry where the average is about 600 to 1, these gals are going to get some attention, so they tend not to take care of themselves. It's pretty sad, really. Wouldn't worry about it. Anyhow, so you got wives, girlfriends, ladies of the night, and well, things can get a little convoluted. Most of the divorce I've seen out here hasn't been due to infidelity at all. There's been a bit of that, don't get me wrong. But the majority of the divorce that I've seen out here is because these truck drivers end up spending 4, 5, and 6 months out on the road, and basically home is just a way station to do your laundry on the way through. I knew one guy that had been married 3 times. He was about 28 years old, and he couldn't figure out why he was divorced, but yet he told me every time he gets home, he'll jump on his motorcycle and disappear for a day or two. Well, yeah, if I was your wife, I'd divorce you too, you meathead. I'm surprised he hadn't figured that out yet. I'm like, well, take your wife with you. Well, he wouldn't do that, so it's on him, I guess. But you got to make your home time quality, especially if you're married and you got kids. And truthfully, you got to figure out if this is what you do, this is what you do, but you've got to figure out some kind of balance. Because being out here on the road, you're going to miss a lot at home. And I'm going to tell you right now, women get jealous of these trucks. I've seen it a lot. These trucks are a mistress, and they're an evil mistress that takes their man away from them. So just a little food for thought. If you can find balance, but don't be gone for 3, 4, and 5 months at a time. Because I'll tell you right now, if you're not there building a relationship, she will move on. It's like one gal saying to her husband, I'm going to get pregnant this Friday night whether you're here or not. That becomes reality after a while and not just a joke. So when it comes to ladies of the night, leave them alone. There's just too many things. There's too many. Stay out of the cat houses when you go to Nevada or when you go down to El Paso. When I lived in El Paso, I was stationed down there in the Army in the 90s. And the AIDS HIV rate down there at the cat houses was at about 75%. That's part of the CDC. That was a real statistic. Unregulated and the whole ordeal. And so it was just a real bad thing. That stuff's still around. We don't talk about it, but that kind of thing is still around, and you don't want to be bringing that kind of thing home. So. But that aside, when it comes to decision making, remember when I said don't make decisions with a girlfriend? There's certain girlfriend decisions and there's certain wife decisions, and you need to know the difference. If she ain't your wife, there's just certain things that you need to do and stay constant with, because it was that way before you met her, it'll be that way after you met her. When I got engaged the last time, I didn't change what I was doing, because I told her flat out, this is what I do. And she didn't have a problem with that. She found other things to have a problem with, but that's all right. I'll take the blame. Still not too sure what it was, but hey, whatever. I guess I'll carry that torch. But when it comes to your decision making, when it comes to your job, your future, your 401k, your pay, and what you do, these are not girlfriend decisions to have. And I know this sounds real harsh, but I've seen more guys destroy their careers making wife decisions with girlfriends. These women aren't committed to you. They don't have any skin in the game. And I've seen more guys drugged down because they just want to please their girlfriend. This is what you were doing when she met you. This is one of those things that is a very hard pill to swallow, but in the long run, if you find someone who's happy for what you do, you're going to have a better relationship. That's just the way it is. So you're probably asking, what about me? What about Red? Red, well, she doesn't mind. We worked on it. We make it work. We stay in contact. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, that back in the day, you would have to stop at night at a predetermined time or whatnot, or have schedules memorized and a roll of quarters to call home, or a calling card or an Amex number. There were no cell phones back then, so you just had to, you know, stop periodically, make a phone call. That's just the way it was. And now, you know, with cell phones and video and stuff like that, you know, it's made things a whole lot easier. And especially with the internet and, you know, auto pay and stuff like that, you can pay all your bills and never leave the truck. So it's just kind of one of those things that you kind of have to weigh. Just, it's gotten a whole lot easier and a whole lot better. Well, now when, you know, her and I talk a couple times a day, we video chat. She lets me see the dog. And, you know, you figure out a way to make it work. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But we don't live together. You know, I don't make decisions for her, and she doesn't make decisions for me, because we're not married. She's got her own bills. She's got her own house. I've got my own bills, and I've got my own house. We've figured out a way to make it work. But here's the thing. This works for us. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm just to tell you what I've seen. And I know I seem pretty hard on girlfriends right now. I've seen guys live with women for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and not have a problem. They finally decide to get married. They get married and they're divorced in a year. Why? Well, I can tell you why, but y'all ain't gonna believe me if I tell you. It's just important to have a little bit of perspective on things like this. This is why I say you don't make marriage decisions with a girlfriend. But basically, you don't make decisions about your future with someone who doesn't have any skin in the game. It's just real important to have a, I don't know, it's just real important to have perspective on what you're doing and map out your future. You're not mapping out somebody else's future. You're mapping out yours. And that's the important thing when it comes to having relationships out here. You know, especially romantic ones. Now, like I said, don't be like my old trainee, steal a truck and run halfway across the country. There are better ways to do that. Steal a car. Yeah, don't do that either. So from being in the military to working aircraft, I used to work at Raytheon before I was a truck driver, to becoming a truck driver, I've seen just the worst in people when it comes to relationships. I've seen more people destroy their jobs, destroy their futures, and destroy just everything around them over a relationship that was doomed, that ended up failing anyways. You know, if two people are wanting to build a life together, that's great. It's great. But at least have some perspective on what you're doing. Your common goals need to align. You know, ladies, if you date a guy who's a truck driver and you're thinking, well, it won't be that bad, he'll change, or eventually he's going to quit, you just walk away from it right now. This is what he's doing when he met you. This is probably what he's going to be doing when you walk out that door. You have to have some level of acceptance when it comes to this lifestyle. And that's what it is. This is a lifestyle. So once you understand that and have that acceptance and then work on building on that, life gets pretty good. The other thing is, this kind of thing doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing this, like I said, what, 23 years now. And it wasn't always as good as it is now. Don't get me wrong, owner-operator and doing some of the things I'm doing is pretty tough still. But in the beginning, there was no time off. There was no quality time. It was just rough. It was rough for a few years. But eventually I worked my way into a position to where I could start taking more time off. I built, I created, I made a job environment that was conducive to my lifestyle. You know, I took 100 and some days off last year. You're wondering how I made any money. I made a lot of money last year because it took years, but it figured out how to do it. And this is where your relationship needs to have a little bit of steel, a little bit of moxie, a little bit of, you get with the right person, this is something that you guys can have long-term goals about. So this doesn't happen overnight. You know, you have to build this. And too many people think that you buy a truck, you get rich. Now, you guys that know me, this is my third truck. And I've been doing this owner-operator thing for, what, 8 years now? 8, 9 years? Not 9. About 8 years now. And it's my third truck. I'm trying to figure it. Yeah, it's my third truck, and it wasn't always this easy. The first truck, the first job, rough. The second job was playing catch up from the first job, and I'm still at the second job as an owner-operator. But it still took me another truck and 3 or 4 years to really figure out what I want to do. And now things are good. I'm not saying it's always going to be good for you guys, but at the same time, what I am saying is that this stuff takes work. And when it comes to decision making and relationships and all that, make sure that you're doing it right. Because like I said, I've seen more guys destroy their career over relationships and decision making by people that have no skin in the game. I could tell you story after story after story, and I won't, because I still know a lot of these guys, and I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to go there. The guy that stole the truck, I don't know. He may be back in prison. Who knows? I had to Google that. Anyhow, but all I'm saying is keep your chin up, keep your head up, strive towards something. And if the person that you're with, that you're dating and all that, doesn't share the same values, the same goals, guys, it's tough out here. It's tough enough out here on our own. You don't need that negativity clogging you up at home. So if it's time to cut it loose and go do something else, or if it's time to cut her loose and go find something else, or if it's time to just stay single for a little while and really concentrate on your career, it's all up to you. I won't tell you what to do. But make sure that your decision is yours. And make sure it's grounded in what you need it to do. Because I'll tell you right now, I hate to see people go down pointlessly. So, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next video.
Baby, read the fine print. I've got baggage and it's all Gucci. Don't get too attached to me. Everybody act like the answer. One love like in the movies. Wasting precious time assuming. Oh, were we made to fall? And slowly exploring what I need. Cause dozens of times I swear that I knew when the wisdom was scanty. Doesn't mean I was broken so open, I gave in till empty. Got it all back by myself.